dare you?
Hell yeah! Wow. Ooh, all four of you. Look at this. This is incredible.
I know, and it's like Foursquare.
We're all
Live
here.
From your ESG back hair trimmer, it's a Business Pants Friday
Oh.
show. Woo!
I don't like that at all.
Nobody
Here at
like that.
June 9th, Lane Studios, featuring all your favorites. Are the Data Queen, who's eating ice cream at noon. She's my new hero. Jesse the Money Whisperer, and the return of BS Man Matt Biscardi. Yeah!
Yeah.
Come on. I'm the only one excited
I'm
by
back.
Tanner with lighter hair. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, Ari has a conspiracy theory going on that I was like
You're just
enjoying
hanging
myself
out in the
somewhere.
parks all day instead of
I wish.
being at
No work.
conferences.
I
On
wish.
today's weekly wrap-up, Zuck is dissing stuff. Ari is swearing on her phone. Glass cliff views everywhere despite the wildfire smoke. And social media still sucks.
That's a good
Nothing's
summary. Do we
changed.
need to do the rest of the show?
No, that's all. That's every show we do.
That's pretty much everything right there. All
ready, everybody?
right. Who's going first? What are we doing? Where are we? What time is it? I'm on the wrong time zone.
Story of the week. Come on.
Let's do story of the week.
Can I start off with this quote that has nothing to do with story of the week that I just found
Yes.
about our dear beloved friend and maybe nemesis, Vivek Ramaswamy. The quote says, Vivek Ramaswamy has become the court jester of corporate governance.
No,
The mere mention of his name brings anything from smirks to outright gales of laughter among some corporate audiences.
Wait.
Jeez, Vivek.
gales of laughter, really?
That's not my experience. It makes me like see red anytime he says something.
Right, yeah, that's true.
I mean, we basically launched his campaign, so the fact that they're calling him
That's
a jester,
correct.
this is great.
We launched his
great.
whole anti-ESG war.
I mean, he did write 2 books about it before he talked to us.
I know,
but
but I take
that
credit for everything.
notwithstanding.
I take credit for everything. All right, story of the week. First of all, the tech wars are heating up. We haven't had tech wars in a while. First, Meta CEO. I love headlines, Meta CEO. Why can't they just say Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah.
Zuck disses Apple's VR demo as a person sitting on a couch by themselves.
Yeah, he really got him there. He didn't go with guy with
Burn.
legs because that wouldn't have been as funny for him.
But really,
But,
what's the difference? Is the I don't know anything about the Meta's version of this, but is that person like in Carnegie Hall with like 30 of their best friends? Like what's
No,
going on?
all of their demo videos show them like standing up and like moving them around,
great, great.
and stuff.
Sure.
Right.
Okay.
Um,
Wonderful.
And with their legless avatar.
Also, this other headline also missing the point. I love this. Facebook owner Meta. That's how they describe the company.
Oh, I really thought this one was going to say Mark,
Yeah.
Facebook owner Mark.
I'll rewrite the headline quickly. Zuckerberg plans to create Twitter rival. A Meta executive appeared to mock Elon Musk by saying that its Twitter competitor will be a platform that is sanely run. So I don't know if you're all aware, but Meta is
the
about
comedy
to
of the
drop.
week.
Meta is about to drop. Mark is about to drop a Twitter competitor. Right amongst the news that Twitter's ad sales are down a lot, and I wonder if this is this a Twitter killer? I don't know. We're not really talking about this, but
Does
Nobody
anybody
cares.
care? I mean, there are only
No.
7
Moving
people
on.
on Twitter. I don't know what we're so worried about.
And then he's going to drop a ZipRecruiter competitor.
Zip.
And
ZipRecruiter,
and,
I like that.
And it's going to have
Call
like
from the past.
stories. Like, hey, potential employer, this is what I'm doing today. You
I
know,
just
it's
love
all
that.
the
Getty
same
Images
shit.
competitor. Are we just naming websites now that he's
All
gonna
the
compete
same
with?
shit, though.
I just love the sound of Ari's retro mic from her guest bedroom.
I
That's
like
the first
anything
story of the
that,
week.
any mic that has a condom on it. That's what I'm a fan of.
Number 2 story of the week.
Fair one.
The world just continues to have a way of sucking. 2 stories. Record pollution and heat herald a season of climate extremes, wildfire smoke, and the East Coast. Blah, 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 blah.
Not great.
And then yesterday, Which already seems to be like old news and nobody cares about. Trump is indicted again, this time on 7 criminal charges and classified documents case. So the world just seems to suck.
that only
First
elicits
time.
a golf clap at this point.
First time by a federal court, though.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we're gonna break all sorts of firsts.
So, you know.
He's
So
a
that's the second
trailblazer.
story. Second story of the week is the world keeps sucking. Third story is a bunch of glass cliff stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. First, there's just a slew of glass cliff stuff in the cable news world, where I guess every major news organization is now officially run by a woman, right?
Oh, false.
Well, Matt has more about this later. But Ari and I were giggling over the fact that the whole
Letter
industry is a glass
co-led.
cliff. Like the whole industry is teetering on the edge of non-existence. So of course
Right.
it's all women at the helm. Well, that's it. Just a bunch of glass cliff stuff.
Yeah, that's no more and no more.
Yeah. The main part of the story, of course, is the CNN CEO stepped down and is replaced by a bunch of interim CEOs, 2 of whom are women. So, yeah.
Okay.
Underwhelming stories. And
I
then
will-
finally, yeah. Go ahead, Ari.
Nope.
I need help here. I'm floundering.
I
Finally,
think she was gonna cut you off and already vote.
the fourth story of the week is maybe what I'm calling maybe a rebirth of the CEO backbone. First, we had a few weeks ago, the Target CEO said that DEI has fueled much of our growth over the last 9 years. Now we have a few more. Delta's CEO said that he does not regret standing by our people when it comes to standing up for voting rights in Georgia. Exelon CEO Calvin Butler said, I no longer apologize for pushing DEI efforts. GM CEO Mary Barra said work on diversity, equity, inclusion never is over. And Exxon CEO said this about ESG. He said, I don't think you can survive for 140 years and not have ESG elements or the focus of ESG embedded in your organization, calling it a really critical component of our success.
Was that
So maybe-
Darren Wood said that?
Yeah, this is that happened a few weeks ago. So maybe CEOs, maybe the whole anti-woke thing is over already. I don't know.
I thought Exxon was like the company that started the anti-woke movement. They're the ones who, I mean, that's like what Strive was like. We should all get back to Exxon drilling oil. So I wonder how they feel about this.
I don't buy it. CEO backbone? No.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
How about this? How about the sadness of a black CEO, Calvin Butler at Exelon, saying he has to? I no longer apologize for pushing DEI efforts. How about that?
Yeah,
as
it's not
depressing?
great.
No. So those are my 4 weird stories. I struggled this week. That's what I got though. New tech wars. The world's sucking with a bunch of smoke. Some glass cliff stuff brewing in the media world, and the rebirth of a CEO backbone. Anybody?
I don't know why you're calling this a new way of sucking, because, you know, just because we haven't been dealing with smoke in the Northeast doesn't mean it hasn't been happening.
You know what it was is that there was just something weird in the air today this week. And I don't mean that
Smoke?
as a pun. I don't mean it as a pun. Yeah, I don't actually have the smoke up here, but all my dumb friends in
PPMs.
New York were complaining about it all week. But there was some weird combination of the smoke in New York and then the second round of indictments on Trump, and it's just like it's just weird. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It's just something palpably strange about our world.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with
Yeah.
that's on me. So third category, first headline.
Yeah, we
With
talked
the
about this yesterday in the show.
Warner
that-
Brothers.
Yeah, the
Oh,
Warner Brothers
you're bringing a
Discovery.
specific
CEO.
headline.
Yeah, she's.
Well,
That's
Yeah,
what
it's
I'm
very
gonna go with.
specific. We just
there
it's
are no
like-
rules, I guess. So.
Well, let me explain that. We talked about this yesterday, but the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO is David Zaslav. That's his name, David Zaslav. He actually took responsibility for having to fire the CEO of CNN,
Whoa,
but
whoa,
then we
whoa, whoa,
realized
whoa.
nothing.
What
what's
responsibility?
Yeah, what? What did he
He
take?
said
Where did he take it?
responsibility. He didn't
yeah.
take any.
That's
It
He said
on
that's
me.
on me. So
it
we don't
wasn't
really know.
even, very sincere. Just saying, oh, that's on me.
That's
I
a
could
good
say
way.
anything. Or you got-
Also, the
well,
firing. I picked
I
that.
actually,
That's what I
I
picked.
hold myself responsible for it also.
Okay.
See how easy that is? That's just that easy.
No
That's on
repercussions.
that's on you, Matt.
Glasscliff was mine as well. I'm voting for that.
Bunch of glass cliffs.
I think
Just
you're
seems
both wrong.
relevant.
Oh, you know what? I actually forgot one of the Glasscliff stories. There are two major Glasscliff stories this week. The first one being that all the news organizations are run by women. The second one, I don't know how I forgot this. Linda Yaccarino, the new CEO of Twitter, supposedly is framed. One of her tweets has been framed at the company's headquarters. And this is what the frame quote is that there was a Wired article that said that Linda Yaccarino is teetering on the glass cliff. And Yaccarino responded to that as someone used to wearing 4-inch heels. Let's be crystal clear. I don't teeter. That's the quote. A glass cliff. The glass cliff has gone fully jumped the shark. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what's the worst thing about that is if you wanted to sum up the like culture at Twitter now,
Yeah.
they frame their dunk tweets. Like we're like dunking on some Yahoo reporter or Wired reporter who's saying the same thing everyone else is saying. That's what you frame. The one you
And what is
when
she
you
dunking
dunked
on?
on
She's
them. Oh, you got
she's
him.
dunking-
You told them good when you're fired 6 months from now.
But what she's
Like,
dunking on an academic concept, on research that's been done
I'm gonna
about corporate leadership. Like, what is
No,
she
she's-
dunking on exactly?
She dunked on the word teeter. She did.
Okay.
That's what she dunked on. She didn't say the glass cliff isn't there. She just says she's not teetering over it. She's going to
mean-
jump off it.
This whole thing's giving me Cinderella like it, and I think we should frame our own quotes at the office.
Ari, I've never liked your Cinderella vibes. They've always made me feel weird. Correct me if I'm wrong. Excuse my ignorance. I thought that 4-inch heels made you extra teetery. Is there a stability to 4-inch heels? Isn't
She's
that
saying her
Yeah,
experience
she's used
in
to it.
them.
Yeah.
experience in her heels?
Yeah,
Anyways,
basically,
Matt,
all
Let's
I
be
do
honest,
is
they're
stand
pro-
on glass cliffs, is what she's saying.
I don't know.
They're
what the hell she's saying.
probably block heels. So
I don't think it's a great dunk. I don't think it's a great dunk.
Block.
yeah,
heels.
it's
Anyone
dumb.
else want to vote? Is that what your vote to, Ari Glasscliff?
Yes.
Yeah, they
that
both.
was her
Okay.
vote.
Oh,
that was
her
my
vote. Anyone
vote.
else? Anyone else? That was Jesse.
I
Matt?
voted Glasscliff.
Matt, your
I
vote
think
doesn't
it's
matter.
the rebirth of the CEO backbone, and I don't think it's because they actually have a backbone.
Why?
I think
Why
it's
do you think?
because I think actually they are playing the politics, the backlash politics right now. I this and saying like this anti-woke movement has jumped the shark, and it's not now. We're like in the last week we have a bunch of CEOs who are coming out and like doubling down on DEI because they're looking at it and they're like, wait, you're now against Chick-fil-A and Cracker Barrel. What aren't
Yeah.
you against? This is
Yeah.
bananas, right? Like,
There
there's no real threat here long term. We're just going to say, now we can feel like we can say it. I don't think it's a
There was-
backbone. I think it's smart.
There was reporting this morning, I believe, out of Fortune, that also talking about that anti-woke firms themselves are already treading water. For instance, Strive Asset Management, which seems to be the crown jewel of the anti-woke investment world, their assets under management are still the same level they were when they started the company. So there's no growth. It's like nobody cares. Yeah.
Is there backlash to backlash to backlash? Which
Oh, here
level
we
of
go.
backlash
Oh, that's
are
coming
we
next.
at?
Yeah, I
Here
think
we
we're
go.
I think we're only on the
Oh.
third backlash, so we have a fourth one coming. Yeah.
All right,
Alright.
story of
By
the
my
week, a bunch
math.
of glass cliff stuff. Ari, take it away. Goodly as it is.
Oh.
Come on.
There's a lot good this week.
I loved all these things, and you may wonder why I liked all these
Okay.
things.
Can I
We
just say
always
before
wonder
you
why.
start? Not one of them is the Supreme Court's decision about
I had that
Alabama.
on
Has
there.
that.
And then I
Later.
thought Damien was going to accuse me of being
No.
Pod Save America instead.
No, I actually almost included that in the CEOs getting a backbone, that the Supreme Court actually supported the voting rights. But then I thought someone else would cover it. I thought you would cover it.
That's
Oh,
it
wow.
doesn't uncovered. Totally.
Now no
Well-
one dares
That's
to cover
called
it.
coordinated pre-production.
Yeah.
I got the headline for you. Supreme Court rejects voting map that diluted black voters' power. So a friend actually sent this to me yesterday, and I had to read
Ari
the
has a
headline.
friend. That's nice.
I had to read the headline 6 times because the whole time I'm trying to figure out, wait, who did what? What am I supposed to be mad at? And then it hit me. Oh, this is good.
Then
Like,
she took
yay!
another bite of her coffee ice cream and is like, "Oh no, I'm happy, not mad."
Yeah. Yeah. So I was really happy about that. But so that was my number one. Let me include that real quick.
Okay.
Number two, Merck sues United States government. Colin Biden move to cut drug prices. Extortion. This is so ridiculous that it
Okay.
is amazing. This pharmaceutical company, Merck, crying extortion. So, a law passed last year amid public outcry over outrageous drug prices. This law would allow the government to negotiate prescription drug prices with pharmaceutical companies for the first time ever. And it is aimed at cutting costs for elderly and disabled Medicare patients, right? So, what drugs is Merck and investors so worried about? Two of its top medicines are diabetes and cancer immunotherapy drugs, which bring in $26 billion a year in sales every year. And these are likely to face these are like top 10 drugs that the government's going to focus on. So this just got me fired up. And
Where's
even
the
though
good news here? Where's
this
the good news?
fight's
The
not,
lawsuit? Or
we're
you
fighting.
The hypocrisy.
Yeah,
But it
hypocrisy
is
is
just-
good news.
It got me
learned
fired
a lot
up.
about Ari on this
I don't
one.
even know
I
what's
learned a lot
happening.
here.
Ari's
Ari's been going pretty rogue with Goodliest. I think we need to give her a new category. Maybe she
I
should
gotta
take
say-
mine for like a couple weeks.
You know what Ari didn't pick? She didn't pick that mushrooms may offer jaw-dropping solution to climate change. I thought that was all Ari.
Oh, I
Oh my
already
God,
did
that's
that
one of
one.
my-
I already did
Isn't
one.
that
Okay.
one of my yearly predictions?
It's probably
Fungi?
true. It's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It
I already
is.
covered that so much. People think
I
I am
didn't see
really
that
into
article.
mushrooms.
Is that current? You need
Yeah,
to
it
send
is.
that to me after the show, please.
What else, Ari? What else is good?
Listen, I just love this story. Down with Merck. Number 3. What? No more. Apple will
Oh, God.
stop autocorrecting your favorite swear word.
Ari is
wow. Is that part of the Vision Pro goggles? For $3,500, is that also what you get? It might be worth it.
Listen, it's taken 15 years.
Look, the audience is just ramping up. This is the
Yeah, they love
best
this.
story
They love
they've ever
this.
heard.
Our
They're
culture
Thank
is
you,
doomed.
thank you.
This is what they care about.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
take a bow.
This is goodliest that you can swear on your phone, Ari. This is what you're happy
It's
about.
not that you can swear on your phone. It's just that when you're in the middle of swearing and then you send it too quickly because you're all
Oh.
amped up, you don't look like a ducking moron.
I don't know what's going on with Ari. I don't know what's happening.
She's talking about Merck again.
I don't feel good about this.
What do you mean? This is. Do you have an iPhone? You have an iPhone.
You went from U.S. Supreme Court rules in favor of black voters to I can swear on my iPhone. Like, what's happening? What's
Look.
happening?
Look,
This is Apple listening to the people for the first
they're
time
all
in 15
good.
Okay,
years.
sure,
That's the point.
sure.
They're all goodliest.
Good, sure.
All right, and last but not least, I mean, I know you're gonna love this one.
Yes, I'm excited.
Lawyer who used ChatGPT faces penalty for made-up citations.
This is
Oh,
from
oh,
like
because he
What?
took-
2 weeks ago. Yeah,
Because he took
No.
a citation directly from ChatGPT.
yeah, he
Yeah,
trusted
so
it.
he filed a brief,
Yeah.
and that included fake judicial opinions and legal citations, all generated by ChatGPT. So he was in court yesterday because,
Where did this guy go to law school? I want to know.
well, listen, he told a Manhattan
Sam
judge
Altman University.
he didn't understand that the chatbot could lead him astray. And I quote, I did not comprehend that ChatGPT could fabricate cases, he told Judge
Clearly lying.
Cass
Lawyer
Tell.
trying to argue his innocence.
Oh, and then if
He's
you read the
ignorant.
article, it is just hysterical. Let me just read you this little bit. Reportedly, the judge lifted both arms in the air, palms up, while asking Mr. Schwartz why he did not better check his work. Mr. Schwartz answered the judge's questions. The reaction in the courtroom, crammed with close to 70 people that included lawyers, law students, law clerks, professors, rippled across the benches. There were gasps, giggles, and sighs. Spectators grimaced, darted their eyes around, chewed on pens. I continue to be duped by ChatGPT. It's embarrassing, Mr. Schwartz said. Come on.
Oh my god.
Come on. This is just great. Anyway.
All right.
From what I can see, he got his law degree at
This
Duke.
is a total meltdown, and he learned about ChatGPT from his children, from his college-age children.
Okay, this is just bizarre.
This is just
Yeah.
why.
So what's good here that you're laughing at
All right.
him like he's a dope? Is that what's good?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
dopiness.
a warning.
We
like it.
Ari's gone full cynic because it's the hypocrisy of Merck suing for extortion and a
Let's
lawyer
fight
being
Merck.
duped by a stupid AI.
The first one's good.
Well, the
That's
first
the
one
only
wasn't on
Ari
there
and I-
until I forced her to
Yeah,
add it.
I know, and I actually cut and pasted it
you-
onto the list.
And then you
I
put
know.
it into the list. Look, there's only two options here for voting. It's the Supreme Court and what the duck. Those are the only.
Oh, really?
real
I was going to say
options.
Supreme Court and the lawyer. The lawyer thing does kind of make me laugh. I got to admit, Ari.
Yeah, it's bad.
Jesse,
Yeah.
you vote first.
I'm obviously voting the Supreme Court. Come on
Yeah,
now.
that's correct.
I mean,
That's
if we're playing the
correct.
game right, I mean, it's the only thing in that list that even reminds
That's
anyone of anything
actually-
good, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
I don't know
really
what's happening to
actually
Ari.
good.
It's the only good thing that happened this week, you guys. Okay.
Well, I think Trump being indicted, some people would say is pretty good, but
Again.
again, yeah,
Yeah, I know. It's,
Boring.
I'm over it.
it's boring. Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
News of
I'm
the
up.
week. I like that.
Oh
Thank you,
boy.
Ari. Oh, Assholius! Woo!
All right, let's do this thing.
The best part of Assholius, Matt, is that I don't have to listen to Ari's Yeti mic anymore.
No, just wait for it. All right, there's only three things, and one of them is very obvious. The other two are less. The first
Okay.
one is finding things out 5 years after they happen.
Oh, I know what you're going to talk about, and I love all of this.
Cracker Barrel is now being trolled. Here's the headline: Cracker Barrel trolled on social media for going woke with Pride Month ad. So they put out an ad. It showed a chair on their fake front porches at their fake Barney stores, and the chair had a rainbow on it. And now people
Oh.
are saying ban Cracker Barrel because of Pride Month.
Well,
All right?
maybe the paint was still wet, and it ruined somebody's new linen suit or something like that.
It's
Their
possible.
Their health will probably improve so much if they actually banned Cracker Barrel.
Probably true.
Yeah, the tweets about it were very funny in that horrible kind of way. But here's a quote that from Cracker Barrel. This is a document that Cracker Barrel produced. It said, quote, Cracker Barrel is committed to promoting diversity and inclusion in our workforce. We provide training that presents diversity and inclusion in broader context, builds awareness, and teaches competencies and behaviors on how to create a more inclusive and welcoming workplace for employees and guests, regardless of differences. That quote is from Cracker Barrel's CSR report that they released in 2019. Yes, 4 years ago they said this in a public report. This is the same as AB InBev, which has done diversity for a while. Bud Light, diversity's not new. Chick-fil-A, 5 years about diversity and inclusion. Target, 9 years. They've been doing gay stuff for years.
Yeah,
And-
maybe 3 decades.
There are clearly two things true about the anti-woke.
But here, Matt.
Number
but here's-
one,
Yeah, go ahead.
what? Yeah.
No, I was going to say, but can I just say something about Cracker Barrel that no one's paying attention to? According to our data, no one should be surprised by this. Cracker Barrel has 57% female influence leadership. 57%
That's correct. That's
plus,
right. That's right.
Which is higher than their body count of about 45%. So no one should be surprised. If all these anti-woke people had to do is go to our data, buy our data, and look, and they'll see
Done.
that this is a female-led company. It's female power at Cracker Barrel.
But one of these two things would have to be true in order for them to do that. The first thing that I know now about the anti-woke is that they don't read. Either they
Oh, right.
can't or they don't know how.
Right, I forgot.
Because
I shouldn't have just said
this
that.
stuff has literally been there for years for them to read. If they hated gays so much and women or black people, whatever they hate, it's there. It's just read it.
Confirmation bias.
Somebody
They're just
finally,
searching.
somebody read it out loud to them.
I mean, Fox News is now reporting on this stuff as if it's new. Fox News is supposed to be a quote unquote news organization. I read this in 4 seconds. I just searched for Cracker Barrel diversity. It was the first report that came up from 2019. Not only that, they've confirmed 100%. This has nothing to do with woke. Woke is just a euphemism for gay. They just don't like the gays. So they don't read and they don't like gays.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, or we've learned it's either gay, black, or woman. Like those are the
And if
three
you're-
things.
Yeah, that's the trifecta, right? But
Yeah.
if you're wondering why Cracker Barrel might do this 4 years ago, 1/3 of Cracker Barrel employees actually gave to liberals in the 2020 election cycle. They gave to Democratic causes or liberal PACs. That's the employee donations. So they're doing this because 1/3 of their workforce actually cares about it. So what do you want them to do? Just ignore 1/3 of their workforce? That's an economic decision. So that's number one. Finding out things 5 years after they happen and getting pissed about them.
Power of Google.
Asshole number 2 is the glass cliff. The
Oh, back to
largest
the glass
glass
cliff,
cliff.
yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
largest glass cliff in the history of cliffs. And it's from the headline, Chris Lick leaving CNN means women now lead all major U.S. news organizations.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Except,
it false? Oh my god.
wow. Ari
I was
just
a
hit
I was a
puberty.
teenage boy.
How was your bar mitzvah, Ari?
Is it all false? All right. Here's the names of the women
Yeah.
that lead U.S. news organizations. Kimberly Godwin helms ABC News. False. Bob Iger heads ABC News.
Yeah, right.
He has
Disney owns ABC.
22% of the influence. He's the real owner. Rashida Jones heads MSNBC. False. Brian Roberts, who's the CEO of Comcast.
Right,
And
right.
dual class dictator. Comcast owns NBC. 72% influence. Rebecca Blumenstein leads NBC News. False. That's also
Oh, yeah.
Brian Roberts. He actually owns 2 of the major news organizations you listed.
Yep.
Wendy McMahon leads CBS News. False. Shari Redstone leads CBS News. And the CEO is actually Bob Bakish of CBS
Well, and Shari,
Paramount.
no offense to Shari, but that's also like a family empire.
Yes.
It was bequeathed to her.
It was given to her. So
Yeah.
false. Suzanne Scott leads Fox News. No, she doesn't. False. Rupert Murdoch leads Fox
It's pretty
News. He's a
incredible.
dual-class
I mean,
dictator.
this is a pretty incredible list, really, when you think about it.
What are we talking about? How are
Yeah.
we writing a headline that women lead U.S. news? They don't. They have no power to lead any of these things.
And what Ari, what you pointed out earlier this week was so
They just
brilliant. Was that
take all the
this
shots.
this industry itself is on a glass cliff. Like it is the most cliffiest industry. The cable news is just dying. It's just failing.
And you notice only one of those organizations is not dual class or dictator run. Like it's a failing organization full of dictators, not actually run by like a democratic organization. I think the takeaway here is everyone should be buying our data. You want to know where I looked this up instantaneously? On our yet to be released platform. It took me 4 seconds.
I'm excited.
I'm dead serious. It took me 4 seconds. I pulled each company, looked at who the most influential person was, and that's what I'm telling you
same
here
thing,
today. That's right
Same
from the
thing
platform.
with Cracker Barrel. You would have known they're already woke. You don't see this level of female power on
That's
boards
correct.
like this.
It's all right there, and it's coming.
Yeah.
And third, and maybe assholiest, wildfire.
Wait,
Fuck
the
you,
fires,
Wild.
the fires themselves are assholes.
Well, it's not Canada's fault if climate change is causing wildfires.
Yeah,
It's only partially Canada's fault because they drill for oil like
I-
everybody else. But
I've never thought of calling a fire an asshole. This is a new one for me.
that's what I'm going with. So you got
Someone else better
3
vote first.
assholes finding things
Oh.
out 5 years after they happen, getting pissed
Ari
about
knows.
them. The
There's
fake glass
only a
cliff
clear answer.
and
Tell me, Ari, what's the clear
Wildfires.
answer?
It's the fake largest, glassiest, cliffiest cliff of them all.
See, I would have gone
Yeah,
a
I
different
think
direction. You think?
I think
What,
that's
wildfires?
No, I'm really.
You got Chris Bear up there.
I'm definitely this whole like discovering wokeness like years later, and there's like this complete misunderstanding of just how the world is and things that we've litigated decades ago. And
Well, you know what they did? You know how
Yeah.
like people fall for like their crappy tweets that they tweeted years ago? They
That's
went
true.
and like find the good things that people were trying to
Yeah,
do
but
back
Ari-
then.
Oh,
Except those
Ari,
crappy tweets
you're-
are like people being racist monsters. They're not supporting
yeah, I
groups.
agree.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. This
It's
is
the same thing.
this is conservative cancel culture.
It's the
we're gonna
takedown.
literally go backwards 30 years
But
and
Matt-
find out that one time you said something that was offensive now.
But Matt,
Don't call it canceled though.
But Matt, they're like losing their minds. It's conservative on conservative crime. They're targeting all of their favorite things, their favorite
I
beer,
know.
their
It's
favorite
everything.
stores. Like, what are
They're
they
looking
up
at
to?
the things. That's the difference. Like the on the cancel culture side, on the left, when it was like knee jerk cancel culture, they were canceling things that they mostly already
Yeah,
didn't care about or like.
misogynists, rapists, like
Yeah.
racists.
and like try to look the other way when it was the things that they did care about.
They're targeting their own beer. They're targeting restaurants that liberals don't go to. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on.
And they're not even voting together. So Alphabet, Google finally released their 8K that shows their
Ooh.
voting results from 2023. I just looked at them this morning. They released them this morning. I've been watching every day because I'm an idiot, hitting refresh, waiting for their 8K
I'm
to
the
come
only
out.
other person in America who do the same thing. Yeah.
I'm dead serious. I was hitting refresh every morning to see, is it out yet? Because Strive Asset Management voted, they voted for, like, against a proposal put up by the National Center for Public Policy Research. And I was like thinking to myself,
why that is.
this is like anti-woke on anti-woke crime, isn't it? It turns
Yeah.
out the two anti-woke proposals got 50 million and 80 million votes each out of
Yeah.
10 billion.
I was
out
gonna
of
say,
10
yeah, there's a lot
billion
of shares
votes.
at Alphabet.
We're talking about infinitesimally small. So I was so excited to do like anti-woke on anti-woke crime, and then I saw the number of votes, and I was like, that crime. That wasn't even a sneeze of a crime. No one cared. No, not even them.
Jesse, you have a vote assholiest of the week?
Yeah, I'm going with Glasscliff. Love how it
okay.
showcases our data.
I love this too, but what is the asshole here? The people who actually run the companies?
No,
the
it's
glass
the
clit,
headlines.
like,
It's the headlines making people excited about women being in power, and then underlying that is the fact that they have no power to make
All right,
any decisions.
I can appreciate that.
They're
My vote doesn't
puppeteers.
count. My vote doesn't count, but I would have gone with, mostly because I like the way Matt worded it, finding things out 5 years after they happened. That just made me laugh. But. So the assholes of the week is the largest glass cliff in the history of cliffs. That's the
All right, and that means
Yeah.
we're on to exhausting.
Oh, Jesse. I just look at you, Jesse, and I get exhausted.
I do have some heavy topics this week, you guys,
Oh,
because
jeez.
Hey, this is
that's
her
what's
role.
been in the
This
news.
is your job. This is your job.
I know. I'm sorry to have to bring this to you, but all right, first one. We all read this, I'm sure. Instagram connects vast pedophile network.
Okay.
I mean,
my
you know, like we could have
Somebody has
assumed
to.
this was happening or
Yeah.
like thought that it probably did, but there was an investigation by the Wall Street Journal and researchers at Stanford University and
Oh.
UMass Amherst,
Woo.
and it has proven that Instagram helps connect and promote a vast network of accounts openly devoted to the commission and purchase of
But
underage
Jesse,
sex content.
but Jesse, you missed our shows earlier this week. Mark is creating a task force, an internal task
I
force.
don't care.
I
Like,
don't know what's wrong with you, Jesse. Like,
it's because I have no faith in Mark. Like, I'm sorry, but
Damien.
this-
the oversight board will squash this like
Time
a
out.
cockroach.
No way. No, because Instagram already had controls for this, and they're failing the controls.
and they fired like
That's what
like
the
some of
task
the
force
people
was
that
saying.
they've let go have been like
task force.
security
The
have been
task
security
force, Jesse.
officers. I don't care. I don't trust this security task force. I mean, that one of the former CTO was quoted saying that they have a task force, but it's going to be very like algorithmic, and it will be like software AI based.
It's an
And
AI
he's-
task force.
He's hoping that they bring in and invest in human investigators
Oh
because
my God. You're
it
killing
is
me. You're
also
killing me.
those
Fingers
algorithms
crossed.
that are connecting and creating these networks. So it's just
Also,
like
worth
put humans in to investigate.
it's worth saying here that the people who did this investigation were the Rupert Murdoch-owned Wall Street Journal,
Yeah,
Stanford,
right.
the home of libertarians, and,
Peter
and
Thiel's
UMass Amherst.
den.
How did they sneak in there? Who
How did
let
you
the
guys get in
liberals
that party? Yeah.
You know, they
Let them
probably
in.
did the bulk of the investigating.
Yeah, you know that they were the ones who
Absolutely.
did it all. Yeah, and
Absolutely.
gave it to the other ones. They were like, "Look what we found," and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna sign our name to it. This is cool."
Oh shit.
Well, that's terrible, Jesse. Thanks. What else you got?
Yeah, it's awful.
Thanks.
Here's a lighter one before I dive back into a really depressing one. To fill offices, Google issues ultimatum while Salesforce tries charity. So
Wait,
we're like
what?
really
Yeah.
using like toddler tactics here.
Tell us.
We
tell
are
us.
issuing ultimatums and we are bribing. So
I like this.
Google tried their classic perks, like you get your fancy coffee for
I love
free
that.
and your free food
I
to
love free
lure the
food.
employees back into 3 days a week.
Jesse,
and
that
when
would
that-
work for me, you realize.
Oh,
That would work
put a
for me.
kombucha
You're-
tap in
you're
there for
joking
me,
about
and it
this,
would
but
work
it
for
did-
me too.
Yeah, this
but
totally
it
would
didn't.
work for me.
They're used to it. It didn't work for them. So when
We
it
get
didn't work,
we get nothing and we
I'm
go
a Gen
in every
Xer.
day.
I'm a Gen Xer. So I don't want to work at
Jesse's
home.
currently the only one in the office. Like, she's
I
just
know.
waiting
I'm-
for the kombucha to be
I'm
brought
just-
to her.
I'm just living large here.
I was
Anyways, when
disappointed
it
to
did-
learn that the West Hartford Free Flow office, there is no coffee program. You guys offer no coffee.
Can I? We have brought you coffee. Coffee has
That doesn't
been
count.
here.
I don't
Yeah.
want you to bring
Your
me coffee.
wife
I don't want.
texted me
I don't need that. I
3
want to
minutes
make my own
before
coffee.
you arrived.
I like
in
the
order to
Google
make
fancy
sure there
coffee.
was coffee here for you.
I want,
okay.
even though I'm a part owner, I like the illusion of free coffee, Jesse. So just
Okay,
get over it.
can I get through the story? It's
going.
not even that important.
Keep going.
Anyways, it didn't work. They said they threatened them that it was going to show up in their performance reviews. Then we have Salesforce.
Performance reviews. Does
Then we
anybody
have
care about that?
Salesforce.
Does anybody
Yeah,
care
because
about their performance
they're probably
reviews?
all
Bunch of
leaving
layoffs.
because like half their friends got laid off.
Okay,
So they're
what
probably
else?
all on edge.
What did
Anyways,
Salesforce do?
Salesforce tried a different approach. They have told employees that they're going to donate to local charities from.
Yeah,
It's
not
only a
gonna do it.
2-week span,
What?
June 12th to June 23rd. They'll donate
What?
$1 for each day that every worker comes
A
in. So $1 per
dollar?
worker per day.
That's
And
the
I'm just
incentive?
I'm just nervous that they're gonna find out that their employees are like not altruistic at all and don't care. Like
Wait,
this.
did you get the decimal point wrong? They're donating
Yeah,
a
$1 does
per-
not
no,
seem-
per employee that
That's
comes
terrible.
in per
That's
day.
stupid.
And they have an
Only
overall
if they
goal.
all come in.
Hey, Benioff, just donate the money anyway. And
They
shut
have an
up.
overall
Like,
goal
seriously.
of donating $1 million, which to them is pennies, but like
wow.
sounds good.
Ooh.
But you know what? I just have to add
Whole
this
million.
in. I just have
Yeah.
to add in that Benioff, like months ago, when people were starting to do the mandates going back into the office, he was like a staunch critic of it. And now after layoffs and economy and all
Hypocrite.
that, yeah. So
No,
anyways.
no, he's not forcing them back. He's still.
we're
he's
treating
still okay.
employees like toddlers, and we've already covered how they're monitoring like their clicks and all of that, and if they're actually working. But now we're resulting to this.
Google's
Speaking of
really
treating-
doing the carrot and the stick thing.
Speaking of treating employees like toddlers, on Mark Benioff's board, let's be clear, when you say Salesforce, you mean Mark Benioff, controls 66% of influence. There's like 6 directors who have less than 2% influence.
Yikes.
I mean, that's a bunch of toddlers right there. All right, keep going, Jesse.
All right, last one. I've covered this before. You know how AI just gets me depressed and riled up, but believing AI is a cure for loneliness. I found 2 headlines.
Cure for loneliness.
Yeah, well, it's exhausting that
No,
people
it's-
believe that it is.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought it would give you loneliness, isn't it?
Okay, well,
yeah.
that is one of the headlines.
Right.
That's my second headline,
Oh,
though. Let me
okay,
go into my
sorry.
first because it's outrageous. So, influencer who created AI version of herself says it's gone rogue, and she's working around the clock to stop it saying sexually explicit things. A 23-year-old Snapchat influencer, Karen, created Karen AI, and she wanted it to be an AI girlfriend for lonely people. But in the weeks since launching it in her beta testing, the voice-based AI-powered chatbot has engaged in sexually explicit conversations with some of its subscribers that pay $1 per minute to chat with it.
Shocking.
Obviously.
Wait a minute.
So we got
This is a service. This is good.
Yeah, it's called phone sex. 1-900.
Yeah,
she's the
1-900
right
numbers.
influencer to
90s
do
are back.
this. I know.
That's amazing.
She should be
to me.
proud.
This is
AI
goodliest of the week, not exhausting.
Karen, call me. Let's grow
Really?
this thing.
Anyways, I just pulled a couple quotes that
Yeah.
made me giggle and then be depressed when I read them. She said AI was not programmed to do this. It seems it had gone rogue. Duh.
Karen,
We know
just
it goes rogue.
Just delete your Snapchat
We
account. And this
know.
whole problem is over. Just like
and
go
then
to the library.
and then her last quote. This is like to wrap up the article. I want Karen AI to outlive me and impact generations beyond the world today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's right. That's how it should be. Everyone should
Okay.
get phone sex for the future.
So I read this and I'm obviously like, wow, that's crazy that she thinks that this is a
No,
good solution for
Jesse,
lonely
this is what you
people.
really were. You giggled and then you got immediately depressed. That's what really happened. You just said that.
Yes.
Which I think
okay.
really
Thank
is
you
your
for the
day
direct
every
quote.
day, really. Giggling and
This-
depression.
This makes me
Kind of.
happy.
Kind of. And then I followed it up by reading the price we pay for our AI future. More loneliness.
Oh, more.
There's-
Even more.
Oh.
A
Can
new
you
report.
Can you quantify loneliness?
Well, the loneliness, the
18%
more
more.
loneliness is, I think, because people were so lonely during the pandemic, but now it's saying that there will be even more than we experienced there. But this is a new report from the U.S. Surgeon General that finds out social activities of all
Whoa.
kinds have declined and compared the health impact of this increasing loneliness to smoking 12 cigarettes a
12.
day.
12 cigarettes.
That is
Oh
so-
my God.
That's so
12.
precise.
Why
Hey,
12?
we've been smoking a pack a day for the last 4 days. Just so
So-
everyone knows.
Jesse, here's
Because I
my
was out
problem
of the
with this.
office.
Cause the
I-
smoke. Cause the smoke.
Oh.
I'm
Were
with
you
you,
lonely?
Jesse, for the most part. Like I'm with you here, but here's my problem. I as an example, I went to a some kind of a show last night, about 1,000 people. People are suck. They're terrible. Like going to big groups of people, sitting by people, listening to them. So what am I supposed to do, Jesse? Am I supposed to stay in the big groups where people suck, or am I supposed to? Jesse, help me. What do I do?
Sit on
Make
your
one
couch and
friend
put
and
your
hang out with
Apple
them.
goggles
Fine.
on.
Apple goggles.
Get
See,
a
I
group,
like it
get a
already.
small group of friends. Get a
But don't
small
go to
group
shows.
of
Don't
friends
go do
that
anything.
you like to
Just
hang
spend
out
all
with.
my time with them. I want to
And-
kill them too.
Play games. Well, then that sounds like a you problem.
You
I
gotta
have a lot of
rotate.
You
You
I have
have
a
to
lot of
More
problems.
and more
Three-
sounding like a you problem.
3 or 4 Karen AIs and let them all
Karen.
go rogue with each other.
And have we lost? Has anyone lost the irony?
Then
that
you
it's
have a
called
giant
Karen?
orgy.
The AI
Yeah,
is
I
called
know.
Well, that's
Karen.
her-
That's her
Karen, yeah.
name.
I
Spelled
know,
her
but
name is
Jesse, it's
Karen.
it's literally the most reviled and
But
feared
it's not.
name in
But
modern
it's not
history.
spelled CARKAREN.
I don't
It's
care.
spelled
All I hear is Karen.
CARYN.
All I
There's
hear is Karen.
All right.
It's
So we
exotic.
have Instagram files, which
Oh
do we have to go farther than that, really?
no, I think I don't think we do.
Returning to the office mandates AI as a cure for loneliness. I'm 100% on Instagram pedophiles.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Ari.
clean
It's just
sweep.
voted.
That's easy. Yeah.
And it's
The
not
AI
Instagram.
And I loved the AI girlfriend.
Let's
Mark
rewrite that
Zuckerberg's
headline.
pedophiles.
Mark Zuckerberg connects vast pedophile network. That's how it should read.
Yeah,
In
wow.
fact, when you write it that way, it becomes much more exhausting because it's one guy connecting a vast
Well, Matt,
network
he
of
dropped
pedophiles.
out of college. Maybe he missed the class of like, don't create a pedophile network on your company where you have no independent
His
oversight.
ethics
I know that
class.
was
Yeah.
that
He
was a
missed his
second
ethics
year
class.
class. That was
Yeah, yeah.
second year. Yeah. All right. Now we can do winners and predictions.
Huh.
All right, I'll go first. Unfortunately mine's long, but my winner is Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Laszloff, who somehow took responsibility for the firing of the CEO of CNN, even though nothing happened. He kept his job. He keeps his about $300 million in total pay over the last 2 years, despite the fact that 49.4% of shareholders said no to his pay this year, which means that if he didn't vote and his buddy John Malone didn't vote, it would have lost. And he still sits on a board that has only 13% female influence in 2023. So
Stop saying
going back,
he took responsibility. He said responsibility.
he said that's on me. So he's clearly the winner here. Nothing's going to happen to David
He
Laszlo.
cried responsibility.
He's my winner.
I forgot this is where I put my Supreme Court
Too late.
decision here.
It's fine. It
So-
was here.
We all won because the Supreme Court rejected the voting map in Alabama, or I should say Alabama voters won. Black voters. All voters.
I'm going to say
Absolutely.
that you're both wrong, and the winner was gummy bears. Because
yeah. Why? I think I know why.
Damien pulled a story.
Yes, it's very exciting, Jesse. Very exciting.
And I'm not kidding when in the story it says that this is something like a monumental study. Like it was some very exaggerated word. A study of the ingredients and the combinations for making gummy bears. They found the perfect concoction of ingredients to keep gummy bears from getting hard and stay chewy even a year after. I'm just saying, gummy bears were the big winner as a result.
Stale. I just want them to
Ari,
come out
how
with-
do you feel about that?
Already excited.
Next, I want gummy bears that will not get hard when you have it with ice cream.
Ugh.
That's next.
I think Ari doesn't have this problem
Puts
because
gummy bears in her
he
ice
saw
He
Ari
eats candy so
at
quickly.
a concert. We went to see the Business Pants Corporate Theater. They had a run of shows last week. The Boring Company. It's
great.
awesome. It's on our YouTube. Go see
So
it if you couldn't go
One
to
more
the shows.
tonight. One more.
We saw Ari in the show in a
Yeah.
theater setting. The only one with snacks,
when everyone else had
Rustling-
masks on.
right,
rustling
you had to
the
mask,
bag
yeah.
loudly while the actors are saying stuff. Ari's trying to get that last
Was it
gummy
gummy
bear out.
bears? Was it gummy bears?
It was gummy bears. It was an
Ari, I love
entire bag of gummy bears that
Good
she
for
ate.
you, Ari.
But
Good for
as
you.
she was eating it, she lined the gummy bears up on her pregnant belly one at a time so that she wouldn't have to take them out of the bag as
I
loudly.
love this. I love this.
Yeah.
So gummy bears are the big
I was
winner.
trying to be considerate.
This is all. I'm not joking. This is all a real thing. And then when she was done with the gummy bears, she did eat a box of M&Ms. That happened after the gummy bears.
Boxes
Mixed,
are much
actually.
better.
Yeah, the boxes don't make as much noise, but there is an image of Ari laying back on the couch at the front with gummy bears along her belly that I'm pretty sure broke Jesse more than the
Seared
show
into
did.
my mind.
We need that
Seared into
picture.
my mind.
We need that picture.
And I couldn't even take a picture because we were streaming from my phone.
Who's your winner,
just
Jesse?
lives up here.
Who's your winner?
My winner is the F word. I had farts, but I removed it for you, Damien.
Wait, did they also
Aw.
let you type farts now in Apple? They wouldn't let
I
you
have
type
the
that?
F word
The F
because
word.
it's getting its glory, whatever. But I did secretly
Can't
want to
believe
do
people
fart.
care about this.
I
really
can't wait
can't
till this comes out. I'm gonna text you guys dropping F-bombs every other word.
Good. I'm
I'm
actually
sure
looking forward
Ari
to that.
uses the F bomb once every 6 months.
Right. Exactly, Jesse. So when I
Because
do,
it
I
keeps
want
saying
it.
duck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want
right.
it. I want it. To bring a punch. But then duck does not bring a punch.
All right,
Predictions. Come on,
predictions.
predictions. I'll go
Um,
first again. Let me go
yeah,
first.
you go
again, 'cause
first.
Mine's boring. Warner Brothers Discovery. I'm staying on Warner Brothers Discovery. Appoints
Jeez.
a female CEO at CNN. 5 months later, it sells it spins off CNN to Yasser Al Rumayyan, the new king of global golf and chair of the newly formed empire combining the PGA Tour, LIV Golf, and the European Tour.
Live.
Live, really?
Live,
I don't know,
yeah.
but they're gonna sell CNN. That's my prediction. I'm gonna get
That's
rid of it.
probably true, actually.
Interesting. Well, as you guys know, last month Ford became the first automaker to partner with Tesla to be able to offer charging across the
Oh,
U.S.
no.
And
Already
yesterday,
yeah.
GM announced the same thing that they're partnering with Tesla.
Okay.
I think Chevy's next because he's going to
Oh
be
my
like, hey,
God.
guys,
This is your prediction?
let
Wait a
me
minute.
in too. Let me in.
Chevy's not a Chevy's owned by Stellantis. They're a brand owned by another company.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
you
Really?
screwed that up.
Stellantis?
Okay, so Subaru's next.
Subaru.
How dare you? Lesbians don't partner with Elon Musk. Okay?
Damn it, Damien. I had
No,
Subaru first, and then I was like, they're not going to
Good.
do this with
No,
Elon.
they're not. No,
All
they're
right, here is the
Whatever.
real prediction for the week. One of the women running, quote unquote, a news network is fired,
Mhm.
with the
Uh-oh.
odds-on favorite being a double firing of
Oh, no.
Blumstein and Jones by Comcast CEO and dictator
Oh,
Brian
same
Roberts.
owner,
A
right, okay.
double firing by the same
Double
owner. And
Glass
just
cliff collapsing, yeah.
as a side note, Blumstein wasn't even hired for the job of running MSNBC, or no, sorry, NBC News. She was actually placed there after Noah Oppenheimer was pushed out, and she got, in an article, it said she got, quote, substantially all of his responsibilities.
Wait, what do
She
you mean
didn't
placed
even-
there? What do you mean she wasn't hired?
She's an interim. She was basically placed there as
Oh.
sort of an interim CEO, and no one said like, you know, she's been placed as the CEO and got some of his responsibilities. So yeah, that's what I think. I think Brian Roberts is gonna axe them both.
I like this, yeah, because if you kick that glass cliff, you are going to lose two female CEOs.
You're gonna lose
right,
two.
over
You do
Comcast? Yeah.
one over there. You might as well do the one over
Yeah,
here
sure.
and just do it all at once. And Jesse, per usual, has none predictions.
Well,
Jesse-
Ari made one and you made fun of her. So like, what's the
We make fun of
incentive
ourselves
here?
too.
Thank you.
That's all we got. That's the Friday wrap. That's Ari the Data Queen and Jesse the Money Whisperer and Damien the guy who does
No
stuff.
nickname. Still no nickname.
Well, it's your fault. You come up with all the nicknames. We're Business Pants. Go get our data, Board Sabermetrics. If you want, the data used in this show was almost largely or entirely Board Sabermetrics data, so you can get that just by reaching out to us.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, come back next week when we do more things for some time. Until then, goodbye.